Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are making what I call my Thanksgiving turkey meatballs because it tastes like Thanksgiving turkey in meatball form. They are fantastic. They are perfect if you're now hosting a big gathering and you want to do something smaller, but that it tastes like those delicious classic flavors. But they're also really great kept warm in your crock pot if you are having appetizer style. We talked on Instagram extensively about where we're gonna go for the Thanksgiving lineup this year, and a ton of you asked for some more appetizer ideas, whether it is because you're having literally just appetizers or to have things on hand that you can reheat or keep warm. And I think this is such a fantastic recipe, and truly it tastes like turkey, but it takes no time to come together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take an onion and some celery and some garlic. Get this out of here. And I'm gonna just pop it in my mini food chopper. And I'm just gonna go ahead and chop everything till it's pretty fine. And then I'm going to, well, I'll show you the next step. But you see, this could not be easier. You can also absolutely finely chop everything up, but this is just so much easier, and I feel like it mixes through the ground turkey mixture so much easier. Also, just saying, you can make these meatballs, don't cook them, to the point of forming them and then pop them into the freezer until you are ready to cook them. So, you know, it can be something that you do. Maybe you can make several batches of them, keep it in your freezer, and then whenever you are serving people, you go ahead and cook. I'm gonna take my celery, add that right in, a couple of cloves of garlic. These are so good. Just you wait. I'm gonna bash them, peel them, and add them to my chopper. I'm also going to add some parsley right in, and I'll save the rest for later. I'm just going to put the lid on and then just chop these until they're really finely chopped. I'm going to take half of this mixture and I'm going to add it to a skillet with a little bit of butter, maybe a little, there we go, with just a little bit of butter, because this mixture is going to go in to the meatballs. And when I tell you what we're using for breadcrumbs, you're gonna be like, that's genius, and it's such a simple thing, but it's gonna impart a lot of traditional Thanksgiving flavors. We're using store-bought stuffing mix. I think this is the best thing that you can use this time of the year when you are wanting to make something that really echoes that beautiful Thanksgiving, you know, flavor profile. This is your classic herb, like herb stuffing. I love it. You can buy the cubed version or not. We're going to process it till it's finally chopped, till it's powdery anyway, because we're turning it into breadcrumbs. But it's fantastic. So all I'm going to do is keep an eye on that. I'm going to take this mixture out of here because I need it for my sauce later, but I need this clean to pulverize my stuffing mix. Mixture is just about done. I'm just adding some fresh thyme. I don't want this to get, you know, too deep in color. I just need those veggies to soften so that they disperse throughout the ground turkey better. I'm gonna turn this off, and then you don't have any raw bite. Then we're gonna add a pinch of poultry seasoning. Poultry seasoning, I mean, kind of very necessary when it comes to Thanksgiving flavors. Give that a nice stir. And now you're just gonna set this here to cool slightly. That's done. Lots of great flavor. Let's move on to our breadcrumb station. We're gonna just put a little chopper thing back together, and I'm gonna just take my herb stuffing mixture and just place it in here and then just pulverize. There we go. Okay, so now we get working on the meatballs, forming the meatballs. I have the oven preheating to 425. That's important because we are gonna put these in the oven to bake. I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil on a sheet tray here with some parchment paper. You can absolutely sear them in a skillet. It's fine. I just don't feel like it. I throw them into the oven. It does the job really great, and then it simmers into the sauce, and it's just delicious. So to the ground turkey, we're adding the breadcrumbs. Come on, there we go. We are adding an egg, and then we're gonna also add this mixture right here. This has a lot of flavor, so don't discount that because you've got a lot of garlic and onion and celery and then the herb, and it's delightful. Good hefty pinch of salt and a good amount of black pepper. Beautiful. I like a lot of pepper, but that's just me. And now I'm just gonna get in here with my hands and I'm gonna just mix, mix, mix. Looking good. I'm just gonna go ahead and wet my hands and then just form meatballs. Now, you know, how big you make them, that it is completely up to you. If I were serving these as an appetizer, I would make them quite small. Not too small, but not the kind of thing that you would want somebody to use a knife and fork for or like roll around on your plate. I would do like one biters, but that's just moi. So that is totally up to you. I'm probably making them the size of a golf ball. Meatballs are formed. Drizzle a bit of olive oil on each one. The best you can. Into the oven for 25, 10 minutes. In the meantime, we will build the sauce that these will nestle in and soak up, and it is so good. I'm thrilled because I love the idea of a Thanksgiving turkey situation without having to do the whole thing. So this is spectacular. Adding a bit of butter and olive oil to my pan. Now, like I said, you can absolutely sear your meatballs in here and then you're good to go. Why not? But I just, you know, throw them in there. It's just easier, you know, and then I don't have to worry about oil splattering everywhere because I'm the one that has to clean. And I'm already doing a great job and making life very hard on myself after I'm done here. To this, I'm gonna go ahead and add the other half of our onion and garlic and celery, parsley, all of that. I want this to all sizzle and saute together really, really beautifully. I'm going to add some more fresh thyme. I have a love-hate relationship with thyme because sometimes it's so hard to get the bundle to like separate without the thyme leaves actually going everywhere. It's very annoying, but it's okay. I'm gonna just strip the leaves of thyme off of a few stems here. Let everything just sort of saute together gently for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then we add our mushrooms, which the mushrooms are totally optional, but I really like it here. I feel like it gives you another layer of not only flavor, adds richness, and it's nice. I like it, but if you don't want mushrooms, leave them out. It's actually just been a couple minutes. I'm gonna add the mushrooms now. And I'm not gonna add any more oil or anything because I'm gonna hit these with a pinch of salt and they will naturally just release their moisture and then start to kind of cook in that. And you don't have to add any additional butter or oil. It's all there. Trust me, just trust the process and let these start breaking down. Looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and add some flour, just like I would make regular gravy. I'm gonna add some flour. It's gonna be the thickening agent. Just cook it long enough until you no longer see the raw flour. You just need a couple tablespoons. You don't need that much. I could be adding more fat here, but I'm telling you, you just don't need it. And then some white wine, which is optional, but I feel like it makes a big, big difference. So I am team add some wine, but if you don't want to, don't. And then some chicken stock, which I just use water and just my powder bouillon. Lovely. And I'm just going to let this simmer until it thickens, just a few minutes, and then the meatballs will be ready to come out in just a couple minutes. All right, I'm adding my meatballs in. They were in the oven for just like, not even 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add these in here. They're gonna simmer for like 15 minutes. I will turn them halfway through just to make sure everything's nestled in there. And then I'm gonna serve them for dinner tonight. I'm gonna serve them with mashed potatoes, roasted Brussels sprouts, and some cranberry sauce because I'm just in that very festive Thanksgiving mood. But you can serve these with some egg noodles, some rice. I mean, literally whatever floats your boat. Just let these simmer. Like I said, you know, flip them halfway through so that they're evenly cooking. And I'll show you what they look like when they're done and we eat. These are done. They do need a blanket of fresh parsley. I mean, it definitely smells like Thanksgiving, so it's all the things that make me happy. This is how I'm serving it. If you were serving it like a dinner, as a dinner, this is how I would serve it. If you're serving it For an appetizer, throw them in a crock pot. Keep the crock pot on warm. Not low, not high, on warm. And they are as fantastic as it gets, I have to say. And I already know that it's going to be divine. I love mashed taters with the gravy. But what's even better is I'm a fresh cranberry kind of gal. And around this time of year, I've always got fresh cranberry in the fridge, fresh cranberry sauce, because I love to bake with it. I love it on top of yogurt. I love it on oatmeal. I love it in anything. So I always like to keep some on hand. And look at how gorgeous that is. And that, my friend, is Thanksgiving in a nutshell, but on a small scale, so easy. I mean, it doesn't really get any easier than that. You don't like Brussels sprouts, which if you have not had perfectly roasted Brussels sprouts, you're missing out. You could do green beans. My mouth is salivating. I do need a knife. My mouth is salivating because that looks ever so perfect. Let's go right into it. I mean, you have everything. You have your meatball, you have your gravy. The mushrooms are just sort of an extra bonus. A little cranberry. Oh my goodness. I mean, they are so light, yet rich and flavorful and dynamite. You've got to get on that cranberry sauce though, because it just isn't the same if you don't have all of that together. And if you're serving it as an appetizer, a container of cranberry sauce right next to it, dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. I mean, skip the turkey, make the meatballs is what I say. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.